is still in the hospital and things have been really rough for him. Ever since UFC 316, he's been battling severe pneumonia. But there's finally a bit of hope. Pat Moe gave everyone an update on Ben, and it's the news fans have been desperately waiting for. He said all the prayers and medical help seemed to be working. Ben actually opened his eyes. He even squeezed hands. He's responding, even if just a little. That's huge. He's not out of the woods though. Doctors still believe he'll need a lung transplant, but some of his vitals are improving. And honestly, he's fighting like a warrior, just like he always did in the octagon. Let's keep sending good energy and prayers to Ben Askren. He needs it more than ever. In other news, the fighter salaries from UFC Atlanta are out, and it looks like Rose Namajunas had the biggest paycheck of the night. She got $250,000, 0 cents just to show up, and then another $250,000, 0 cents for the win. That's $500,000. Miranda Maverick, her opponent, took home $125,000, 0 cents. Kamaru Usman also had a strong payday, banking $300,000, 0 cents, after beating Joaquin Buckley. Buckley earned $150,000, 0 cents, despite the loss. And even though Cody Garbrandt didn't win his fight against Raoni Barcelos, he still managed to walk away with $275,000, 0 cents. That's a solid check. Meanwhile, Charles Oliveira finally responded to Ilia Topuria's recent jab. Ilia had posted some training footage online with a caption that read, "Don't forget to bring the pillow at Charles Oliveira," basically calling Charles out and mocking him. But Charles stayed calm and respectful in his reply. He said, "Dude, it really doesn't matter what they say. For me, it's all in God's hands. No matter what they're saying now, the truth will come out on June 28th when we meet in the cage. I'm a problem for him or anyone. I've got knockout power in my hands and my jiu-jitsu is world class." Charles reminded everyone that people have talked trash before, and what happened in the end? His hand was raised. So he's not stressed, he's been here before, this is just another chapter in the same old story. Then we saw Jamahal Hill and Khalil Roundtree face off ahead of their upcoming fight at UFC Baku.
Hold on one second, I'm gonna step closer, right?
Cool, and I think you can step out. And then you want to face forward.
He's right here, guys.
And if you get squarely into the back side.
Is right here, gentlemen.
Big news came from Dana White himself. Dustin Poirier will be fighting Max Holloway for the BMF title at UFC 318. And the whole card is being built around Dustin. Why? Because this event is happening in his hometown, New Orleans. And Dana confirmed it. This one's for Dustin. He's earned it. Dana spoke from the heart, saying Dustin's been a huge star for the UFC. He's been in the top 10 for what feels like forever. The man's done it all. Fought the best, won big, and carried himself like a true pro. So if he wants to end his career on his own terms, in his own city, the UFC is making it happen. And honestly, this fight with Max Holloway is going to be fireworks. Two legends going at it. What more could fans want? Now, let's talk about the strange controversy that had fans buzzing over the weekend. It happened during Hadifo Bellato's fight with Paul Craig. At the end of round 1, Bellato took what looked like an illegal upkick, but here's where it gets weird. Right before he went down, it looked like Bellato glanced at the referee. Then he dropped to the ground like he'd been knocked out. People immediately drew comparisons to the fight between Aljamain Sterling and Pietro Ye. Remember that one? Aljo caught heat for supposedly exaggerating after an illegal knee. Well, Aljo spoke up on his YouTube channel. He admitted the Bellato thing was really bizarre, but he also defended himself, saying he didn't fake anything in his fight. According to Aljo, he was genuinely hurt.
He gets up kicked, goes for the ground and pound, up kick, boom. He looks at the ref, turns, and then falls backwards. And then he looks like an outline in the streets. Now, with him being the outline in the streets, somehow, some way, he's a corpse. He just starts to shimmy and wakes up. I'm just like, it looked like one of those snail things where you dump water in it and they just activate. It was the most bizarre thing, but it doesn't look good. It doesn't look great. I think we can all agree with that. Now, I know people saying I'm an actor, I got my belt from acting, and I was selling it and really pretending to really be hurt, and I couldn't continue. Guys, I legitimately was really hurt. Oh my God. I can't believe we're still talking about this. People still bring this up. At this point, it's just hilarious because I'm like, I don't know what else I need to do to prove to you that I was actually hurt. How do I prove that I was throwing up in the bathroom and had a concussion? This guy, this kick to the head, I don't know. Maybe something caught him by surprise and then shut off the gears. That was really, really wacky to see. Now, I'm not gonna say the guy was faking, because that reaction, the way he sold everything or did everything, the way his whole body just moved and lit up. I mean, I don't know if anyone can act. If they're acting, you can act that good, that's crazy.
As for Khalil Roundtree, he's fired up. His match with Jamahal Hill is coming up this weekend at UFC Baku, and he's not playing around. He even went on the Ariel Helwani show and promised fans he's about to deliver an unforgettable performance. Khalil's aiming to prove he deserves another shot at the light heavyweight title, and he's determined to make it undeniable.
Have you or your team been told you win this fight, you're right back in the title picture? Is that what is at stake here, especially if Magomed wins?
You know, there's not too much, there hasn't been too much talk. I mean, there's been talks of, you know, what we'd like after this, and I think that the UFC, you know, they have their own ideas and thoughts on what they would want. But my plan is to, you know, put on a performance that, you know, makes a title shot again undeniable, if that makes any sense.
You said what you'd want. You've sort of expressed that. What do you want? Like, is it clear that you will, if you get a great performance, you will ask for a title shot?
Yeah, I'm definitely sure that I'm ready to be a champion, and I'm ready to be the champion. And everything that I'm working on and doing is to be prepared for that again. And so, yeah, that's absolutely what I want and what I'm gunning for. So my plan is to put on, yeah, an undeniable performance so that I can get that chance again.
And speaking of comeback stories, Kamaru Usman is relieved. After beating Joaquin Buckley, he's finally not part of that dreaded 0-3 losing streak club anymore. He joins other former champions like Israel Adesanya and Henry Cejudo, who've had rough patches.
On the same boat, kind of, same ship.
We've been there, we've done that, we bought the damn
0-3.
T-shirt. So man, you know, let's be honest, Henry. There was a lot riding on here. I mean, like you like to point out all the time, we're about 0-3, you know. So
You broke the streak, you broke the streak.
I had to go get that monkey off our back, Henry. I had to go out there and because it was just it was so much disrespect, so many things being said where they would treat me like a red-headed stepchild. Like I was like, you know, like I wasn't jacked, you know. It's about he washed, or he this, he's that, he's not this, he's not that, he old now. I'm like, what, am I old? I know I'm in the gym, I'm still putting in time, I'm still putting in the effort. My coaches still work overtime with me.
Meanwhile, Tim Welch, who's close to Sean O'Malley, addressed concerns about Sean's career after his loss to Merab Dvalishvili. Tim compared Sean's situation to Nate Diaz's. Diaz has double-digit losses, yet he's still one of the biggest stars in MMA. Tim's message was clear: we're not out partying, not doing clubs, we're in the gym, training twice a day. Sean's only 30. Why waste these years? Let's keep fighting. Let's keep knocking them out. He pointed to fighters like Diaz and Jorge Masvidal, guys with tons of losses who still draw massive crowds. That kind of star power doesn't just disappear. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Kamaru Usman is gunning for a title shot. After his win over Buckley, he publicly called out the winner of the upcoming Islam Makhachev vs. Jack Della Maddalena fight. Some fans were confused. After all, Usman was on a 3-fight losing streak before this recent win, but Michael Bisping came to his defense. He believes Usman still has a case. Why? Because of his legacy, his championship past, his loyalty to the UFC. He's done enough to at least be in the conversation.
The thing is as well, it comes down to for Usman, you know, because if other people are saying, well, hold on, Sean Brady maybe deserves it, or this guy deserves it, or Ian Gary and Shavkat, I thought he was the #1 contender. Yeah, they're all valid points, they are, but when you look at Kamaru Usman, and you look at the time served, and you look at the career, and then you also factor in, because it is a factor, that he's at the end of his career, right?
Yeah.
And he's been good for the promotion. He's been a dependable guy. He's taken on whoever they wanted him to when he was the champion. He was a good champion, defended the belt 5 times, I think. You know, and it's like, well, you know, there's a little bit of loyalty, and it does swing both ways. They're like, this guy's been good for us. He's been a great champion. We made a lot of money with him. And he wants a title fight. Well, he deserves it. Let's give him one.
Joe Rogan couldn't stop praising Merab Dvalishvili. On the latest Joe Rogan Experience, he talked about Merab's superhuman cardio. Joe mentioned that Firas Zahabi, one of MMA's top coaches, has said that even fighters on EPO can't match Merab's gas tank. And that's wild, considering EPO is a serious performance-enhancing drug. Joe was stunned. This guy is insane, he said. His cardio blows everyone away, he just never stops. Joe described how Daniel Cormier visited Merab the day after his big win and found him running. Yeah, running the day after a war in the octagon. Merab is that relentless. Joe explained that Merab's strength isn't just physical, it's mental too. He's a guy from war-torn Georgia, and he's embraced the grind like nobody else. He keeps evolving, getting sharper with his technique, and never losing that hunger. Joe Rogan wasn't done. He talked about how Merab's drive is on another level. Even Firas Zahabi, one of the greatest MMA minds ever, said Merab needs to be studied in a lab. That's how different he is. Firas mentioned that even guys on serious cardio enhancers like EPO don't move like Merab. And Merab isn't on anything, he's just a freak of nature. Joe shared that Firas is maybe some of it is genetic, but a lot of it is just Merab's mindset and work ethic. He's constantly improving, his technique, his drive, it's all world class. That kind of dedication, where you beat elite guys like Umar Nurmagomedov with pure pace and willpower, is just unreal. Sean O'Malley hasn't given up either. Even after losing twice to Merab, he still believes he can beat him. On Ariel Elwani's show, Sean said, "If I want another chance, I have to be undeniable. I've got to go on a winning streak and prove I'm the best. I know I can beat Merab, and I know he can beat me. But that loss still bothers me. I want that one back." He admitted that if he never gets to rematch Merab, he'll still be proud of his career. But deep down, that loss is going to stay with him unless he gets a shot at redemption. Then things took a turn when Cody Garbrandt took a shot at Sean O'Malley. Cody mocked Sean and said he should have stayed smoking, implying Sean looked terrible in the fight with Merab. Sean wasn't happy. He hit back, saying, "Yeah, I saw Cody's comments, and he looked good in his last fight, I'll give him that. But what really got me wasn't the words, it was his look." Sean explained that when he saw Cody's braided hair and face tattoos, something clicked. He said, "Damn, is that what I look like to people?" It was a wake-up call for him. Sean admitted it was embarrassing. He felt like he needed a complete rebrand after seeing Cody. "That was an eye-opener," he said. "It made me want to change my whole look." Lastly, Alex Pereira gave his prediction for the Jamahal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree fight, and it might surprise some fans, he's picking Khalil to win. Alex has actually fought both men and says that gives him a unique perspective. He said, "They're both solid, no doubt, but when I fought Khalil, I saw something in him. I think he's got the edge over Jamahal." That's just my opinion. And with that, the news wraps up. Between Ben Askren's fight for life, Dustin Poirier's farewell in his hometown, Sean O'Malley's need for redemption, and Pereira's bold prediction, there's no shortage of emotion and fire in the world of MMA right now.